Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Fernandez. Welcome back here at Global Sports Network. Of course, guys, today we have news, sports. We got Harden is gone. Harden is traded. We have the playoffs. We have Brady and Breeze Part 3. Guys, looking good. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. Global Sports Network, Chris Fernandez, John Foster, and Harden. Harden's gone. Thank goodness. The heart and soul, the big overweight, out of shape, James Harden comes back into town, and then, he makes one mistake, Chris.
Sure.
Come in. You can say, hey, we didn't play good. He's gone. They're not playing good. But when you mention talent, if I say Chris Fernandez, wow. If we had talent on this show, besides myself, Mr. Fernandez, how would you take that? That's pretty personal.
I would say, well, John, whose show is this?
Right.
Right.
You can't say talent. I could say, now,
okay.
Chris,
It's
messed
kind of
up
like
the other night.
It's kind of like the Bible, coach. It's kind of like, did you find me or did I find you?
Right. Well, it's you can't say talent because
you can't.
Now you anybody that watched last night's game. And our producer, Vince, we're going to include him a little bit today. I mean, he was talking. He watched the whole game last night. I watched bits and pieces, and they look good, and it was a team coming together.
Right,
okay?
John. Right.
But bottom line is James Harden's gone. Good riddance. That's the problem. When people want to go, he had his cake, and then he gets to eat it too. And the way he went about it, I mean, I guess there's no other way about it. You got to let him know you're not happy. He got his big contract here. Hey, and you know what? I'm a James Harden fan, or I was, okay? But you look, and we can't complain, Houston. We had 5 years, right, Vince? 5 years of good basketball. 1 year we were even predicted to win the whole thing.
Yeah, we had two that I remember, John. We had two postseasons where we were that close, didn't get it done, John.
Right, so anybody that wants to complain about James Harden and say, yeah, we didn't get it, hey, we were right on the bubble. We were the team. In fact, 1 year, if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt, we win that. And
That's
even
right,
when he
John.
does get hurt, I'm not saying, I'm a boxing guy. I'm not saying that the NBA's rigged, but we still could have won that series.
Yeah, that was a series with the fouls that were never called, right, John?
Well, when you go to the hoop 11 or 12 times in the first half and you have 7 fouls or 8 fouls on 11. You go to the hoop 21 times in the second half, and how many are called, Chris?
None.
0?
0.
I don't know. We won. Raise the hand. I mean, that's a joke. But anyway.
Yes.
So James Harden, good luck. Guess what? James Harden got his cake, and he's eating it too now. Who's the number one team to win the NBA championships this year?
Well, the Nets are looking very good now that they have number one.
Just because they have
Right, and they have Durant, and they have
Kevin Durant, and there's another guy. I think he can play some ball. Kyrie Irving.
That is
Kyrie,
correct.
Kyrie. Right. Chris, I've said this for years. Everybody gives LeBron James land kudos.
Right.
LeBron's the best, man. He's right up there. But without a guy named Kyrie, the Cleveland does not win that championship. Well as LeBron played down the stretch.
Right.
And the magic things he did. There was another magic thing that was happening, and it was called Irving. Kyrie Irving. That guy was magic.
He was developing. He was growing, John. And you can just see that he was going to be a superstar, John.
Well, he was a superstar. Without the
but
plays
more than what he is now.
You can't win without the plays he made. And they were just as fantastic as LeBron James. And
it's kind of funny, John, because on Twitter and news feeds, you're looking at LeBron James making a gesture which is somewhat laughable on this trade. That really there was no super money, there was no really real big superstars that were traded, John, and all you're getting is four future picks they're not protected at all in the future. So that tells us and tells Vince and everybody else that the Rockets are in rebuilding mode, and what happens this year is going to be left to the bench and the guys that are playing now. Last night they looked great, John, without Harden. That's their first game without him, and they played well. They played very, very well, John.
No, they played really well, and I wouldn't count them out. I think if this team gels, they'll be able to possibly make the playoffs, and that would be good. But that's true, Chris. What Harden did, he left us without a team that, you can't put us in the top 4, you can't put us in the top 5, you can't put us in the top 7. Maybe we can pull out an 8 spot, 7 spot, and make it into the playoffs.
Yeah. Remember what I told you right before Thanksgiving, John, that if you get Silas in here and you can get what's left of the Harden team, if you can get them excited about what's going on in Houston with their new coach, if you can get them excited about playing basketball, things could happen. And that we're just one step away from that, Coach.
Well, I don't know. Well. I don't know if we can get them excited. Actually, what we're going to find out is how good a coach we have here in Houston.
We'll see. Exactly.
We'll see. So now it's in his ballpark, So he can either make this team or make it just an average team, and it's not. So coaching is going to be a big
one
part
thing
of it.
is contractual agreements and leaving because you want more money or you're left short money. But from our understanding of things, it was a political decision that Harden made. He didn't appreciate Fertitta being on the wrong political party, and I think that's just totally. You leave politics where it is. You leave it out of sports. John, I was interviewed worldwide about 2 years ago, right about when Donald Trump took office, and he was wanting to not let in soccer players from Middle Eastern countries and other countries, foreign countries. And I was interviewed, and I let them know, I said, politics and sports do not mix. You do not bring politics, government politics, into sport. There's no place for them. And I was on worldwide, super wide, whatever you want to call it, sports TV. And that was the statement of the year, obviously, Coach. And that's one thing that Harden, I guess, took to heart, that Fertitta was on the wrong team, if you will, and didn't appreciate him being on that team. So he based his decision of leaving on that.
Right. It's a shame that, and you're right, Chris. It doesn't mix, and it's not gonna mix nowadays. If you start doing, well, our owner does. Who cares what the owner does? We're here to play basketball.
Yeah, do your job. You got a contract,
and the owner should, stay out of it for the most part. They're the ones that paid you the big money.
Mm-hmm.
James Harden, you made big money. You got Westbrook. I'm sure it doesn't belong, but it does, and it does divide division. And now when things went real south, I'm sure he just didn't want to belong with that. But he was getting a lot of grief.
The other thing was he may have pitched it to politics, but the other thing we talked about it, didn't appreciate that a non-professional or a coach that hadn't been a coach before, previous coach that had history as being a head coach, was going to be his head coach. And he thought probably he wanted someone who already had a history of being a coach.
There's no doubt about
Silas
that, Chris.
was perhaps a big decision in Harden's mind.
I called that one before it happened because when you were bringing in a coach and you have Westbrook and Harden, the only way it was going to work was if you bring in a coach that knows these guys, and these guys are excited about having. And then you look to bring in a third one, a third superstar, like now the Nets have. Kyrie Irving.
Man, that's a super team now,
It's
Coach.
a super team.
Yes, sir.
You can't, although Kevin Durant
has many years
he
behind him.
He does have to get back to his form, which I have no doubt. I mean, that guy's money, man. I mean, even the Warriors without Kevin Durant wouldn't have won the last year.
That is correct.
Even with the great players they have, Klay Thompson.
Yeah, it's correct. I don't think that would have happened either.
It wouldn't have happened. So Kevin Durant's the man. So now you got one more time. You have a super team, and it's now the Nets.
You can, if we jump a little bit into the NFL, you can parallel some of those things of what in the coaching nature as far as Silas with what's going on here at home with Houston, because they're looking at, from my point of view, possible coaching options that are zero experience to some experience. And I mentioned it to you privately, Coach, could it possibly be that the Texans are broke and they want to start from zero because they know they're going to be zero next year and the year after.
No,
I don't know, Coach.
I hear you.
That's my opinion.
I know. You
I
ran
believe
with this
that
the other day. We were talking about this, and there's no way. There's no way. Well, think of this, Chris, too.
Well, they're not going to get the big coach. I'm telling you that right now, because nobody wants to interview.
There's no big coaches out there. I don't think.
Well, there is a lot of offensive coordinators that haven't made the jump to go and interview. They just don't want to. Not with the Texans, for the same reason that they're losing, and they're going to be losing.
Well, it's like they don't go. They haven't even tried to interview. It's like politically, they don't care what the team is thinking. And nowadays, this is coming into a big. It happened with Harden, and now it's happening with Deshaun Watson.
Right.
Well, if you're going to include him in the hiring process and tell him so, and then
Andre
he tells
Johnson
you, well,
also.
this is my number one candidate, and then you don't even go talk to him. I mean, bring the man in and sit down and talk to him. That's all he asks.
Right.
And then you don't do it?
Yes.
I don't know how you get away with that.
Andre Johnson is on the team to give advice and give his opinion and help make choices and decisions. And when you have him there, John, and you don't use him and you tell him that you are going to be part of our decision-making process, and you let Deshaun Watson know he's going to be part of the decision-making process, and then you don't do it, you go and hire a general manager without even consulting with either one of those two fellas.
Right.
That's not cool.
You got a problem. Yeah. Well, James Harden, guess what? He's opening a restaurant in town.
Wow.
In fact, next week it's opening, Chris. What a joke. It's hard enough in the restaurant business nowadays to make it without with a regular restaurant. But when you're still opening a restaurant, it's called 13. And I don't think it has a chance.
In China.
Not even a chance in China to make it. Okay? So good luck. That's, he's going to lose some money there.
Right, John.
It's just too hard in the restaurant business now. And James, there's not too many people in this town that want to see you, that even want you around.
Apparently, John, he had a grand opening or opened the restaurant right around last summer and COVID and whatnot. So they just stopped that, shut it down. And apparently they're going to reopen and do another grand opening. And that's, you're right. I wouldn't go to 13 or 14 or 15.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't do it. If you're not here, if you're not a heart and soul of Houston offense,
you don't have a chance.
Yeah, nobody's going to want to go there, Coach. I'm just saying. I'm just going to throw it out there.
James Harden, here's the thing about Harden now. We're either going to watch him fail or really succeed, okay?
Okay.
So the Nets, well, James, as great as he was, what was his downfall, Chris?
He was a ball hogger.
No, in the playoffs. In the playoffs, he did not show up.
He didn't show up, Coach. That's just
even
it.
this
We talked about
last year, when Westbrook comes back, he's having one of the worst games that he could possibly have. Yet, you know what? You're having a bad game, and this is part on the coach and part on Harden, and nobody picks it up. But you know what? Let's let Westbrook have the ball the last 2 minutes of the game and see how it works out.
Okay, Coach.
Is that unbelievable? So anyhow.
Yeah. Okay, Coach. We're going to go to break, and we'll come back with how is Harden going to play team with these two other guys? Because he hasn't been able to do it yet. We'll be right back.
We work our whole lives to support our families. With one accident or illness, it can all be gone in an instant. Now there's a smart, affordable way to protect your family. Go to findhealthbenefits.com and discover low-cost life insurance for as little as $2 per month. Add to that a tax-deferred annuity that can help you protect your assets and grow your money for retirement. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. A critical illness can strike without warning and wipe out your life savings. In fact, it's the #1 reason for bankruptcy. Find Health Benefits offers an affordable solution. Get up to $50,000 if you get cancer, stroke, or a heart attack, giving you the peace of mind to focus on getting better while the plan helps you to pay your bills and medical expenses. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. 66% of seniors spend more time shopping for cable TV than Medicare plans. Most say because it's just too confusing. Laws change every year. The wrong plan could cost you thousands and prevent you from seeing the doctors you want. Introducing FindHealthBenefits.com. Save time, save money, see specialists without referrals. Go to FindHealthBenefits.com or call 877-235-6094 for this informative brochure.
Society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
The Natural Nation Network is really about taking control of your health physically, spiritually, emotionally, even intellectually, because there's so much out there in misinformation. There's a lot of people now that are suffering from all sorts of diseases that they really wouldn't have to suffer for if they had better information. And that's what we're here to do. Provide information that can save lives.
The mind and the body are totally connected.
Health can be really serious, and sometimes we just have to lighten it up a little bit while we're still providing substantive information.
And my sort of mantra on the salsa dance floor is kind of similar. I tell somebody, if you make a mistake twice, it becomes a move. Okay,
Tune into Natural Nation every Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Welcome back to The Edge, Global Sports Network. Chris Fernandez, John Foster, James Harden. Chris.
Yep.
What about James Harden? Now we're going to find out whether James Harden's the reason why you can make it or not make it.
Either you can make it or fake it. And in this one, John, you won't be able to fake it because you have two other superstars. Will Harden play nice and be a team player, or is he going to do what he did here in Houston? Because, he's used to being the superstar. He's used to being the focal point of the offense. Let's see if he can share alike.
And he's chased everybody out of town.
Yep,
Dwight Howard,
right.
He brought him in. The team, couldn't get along. Then there's this guy named Chris Paul. Nobody gets along with Chris Paul. He just runs the NBA Players League, okay? And right. Chris Paul can't stand him, so Chris has to leave. Then we bring in his friend. Okay,
sure,
Westbrook. Kevin
yes.
Westbrook. Guess what? I can't play with this guy.
Right.
So now he's going to go with Kevin Durant, his old teammate, and Kyrie Irving. Going to be interesting, Chris.
It's going to be very interesting, Coach. We're going to have to find out and see if there's going to be some kind of plan for them. Who's going to take over? Who's going to pass the ball? Who's going to shoot and win, Coach? That's going to be very difficult because, as we said earlier, it's really hard for Harden to share. He's always been the guy dribbling the ball, bringing it up, and not passing, but driving and putting the ball up. Let's see if they'll be able to play nice, Coach, and see if they're able to play team basketball.
We'll find out.
We're going to find out really soon.
What do you chant? Let's make a little wager. What do you think? Do you think he's going to crash and burn, and these guys are going to kick Harden out because you got Kevin Durant? Who's better, Kevin Durant or James Harden?
Durant for sure.
There you go. Who's better, Kyrie Irving or James Harden?
I think Irving's a whole lot better.
Right. So he's number 3 on this team.
I believe so. That's my opinion, Coach. I
think Vince is over there shaking his head.
I think they're going to go there. They're going to crush and burn.
He doesn't say Kyrie Irving has a ring. Yeah, Kyrie Irving has showed up and done it.
Right.
LeBron is the reason why he has a ring, though.
But without Kyrie, that's what I'm saying in that game.
Without LeBron, they're not in that position. Before LeBron got there, they were winning 20, 30 games a season, and Kyrie was the guy.
And Kyrie was the guy, right.
Right.
And even now, Kyrie has a history of he has a history of injuries.
Right. If we can put Kyrie in third and Harden in second, and only in second
right.
because
I was pushing it there. I'll give you that.
But if we do that, Coach, then yes, Harden has all the statistics. Yes, Harden's gone to two finals. He hadn't won either. It's what have you done for me lately that counts, Coach.
It's going to be interesting to see if
I think it's going to be a disaster. It's going to be chaos.
I would love to see that.
It will be chaos.
To see that.
And they might
chaos
not even get
over there.
If there's chaos, there might not be anything.
James Harden could go down as the biggest disaster
Right.
and as a Hall of Fame player,
sports.
that they're in sports.
Sports general coach.
Yeah. So
I'm
he's
thinking
the
that's
reason why
happening.
you blow it up. So we'll find out.
Yeah,
you know,
we'll find out, Coach.
We're going to find out. And the Rockets, you know, at least we have fun basketball watching.
Right. We're
Vince
gonna have
enjoyed
fun
it.
basketball. We're gonna have
know.
rebuilding years, but hopefully they'll find the chemistry, coach, and we'll get it done. And Silas will be a good coach, a great coach one day.
Oh man! So
Let's
now
move on, coach, to playoffs, coach. Of course, yes. Saturday and Sunday we have NFL football playoff. You're looking at the second round, divisional rounds, coach, and this is very, very exciting. Of course, we have on Sunday we have
Brady and
Breeze part
the
three.
The oldest quarterbacks to meet
Right.
in the playoffs ever. What we have over 45, 48 years, something.
Right. Breeze just turned 42. Brady is 43, coach.
Yeah.
And they're
So
still
you're
making the
looking at
magic.
80, 85 combined age. It's the oldest quarterback combination in the playoffs that's
That is
ever
correct.
faced each other.
That is correct.
And
This
I
is the
believe
first
you're
time-
picking Brady.
Right. This is the first time in NFL history that they're facing each other and play in the postseason, coach. And at that age, that's something that doesn't happen. I'm going with Brady at New Orleans, and I think that's going to be an awesome game. You mentioned earlier that Brady had lost the previous two matchups against the
He got
Saints.
demolished.
Yeah, it was 33-7 the
Good
last
luck.
game, coach.
Good luck.
But guess what? I see the chemistry, and I've seen their growth,
gotten a
coach.
lot better.
They're a whole lot better than they were back.
I don't think they're back that much, but I
We'll
hear
see,
you.
Coach.
We'll see. We'll find out if the goat has it. But you got another goat on the other sideline,
right.
and he's been teaching the big goat, you know, what to do in the last two meetings. They've been blowing them out. So the Saints, their defense doesn't rank high. I think 16.
No, it's right at 13th, coach,
13.
and their problems are in the red zone. They're nowhere near where they should be. They can't stop folks. And as far as third down, coach, they're right at 23%,
Right.
coach. They're not very good.
All right. Well,
Let's
now
stop
they
the
have
folks.
Antonio Brown, and Antonio Brown's been coming on in the last 5 games.
That's correct, coach.
You know, he just exploding. Touchdown. He's got touchdown in each game. He's getting open. Him and Brady seem to be clicking. So that is, you know, in the first 5 games they were together, there was nothing. They were yelling at each other.
Usually when you're doing sports, coach, whether it's TV or radio,
Brady.
you always choose and pick one matchup. I believe this is the matchup, coach, of the year, of the postseason. Everything will hinge off what happens Sunday at 3:30 in New Orleans, coach.
Well, I don't know. You're forgetting one other guy. There's a guy named Rodgers out there, and he's got the Green
Right.
Bay Packers rolling right now.
Rodgers also had the bye, and Rodgers
much
is also facing he's facing the Browns, coach. Is that correct?
The Browns.
I'm
yeah.
sorry, not the Browns.
Who?
No, the Browns AFC. The Browns are
sir.
facing the Chiefs.
Right.
So you're looking at Green Bay
Yep.
facing the Rams.
The Rams.
With Jared, remember we talked about
and
Jared?
the quarterback's hurt there,
Goff?
broken thumb, Goff. Yeah.
Yeah, huh?
You know, he'll be playing in this game.
Of course, remember last week the rookie started because of his thumb, and that guy got hit and
And
injured.
then
got pulled out.
he got knocked out.
Right,
And,
so
you know,
Goff came back in, and he did a great job. He came back in and won that game, coach.
Yes, he did. He played some good ball, you know, but it's been on and off this year for Goff. He hasn't really been on, and, you know, they've been having a hard time with him. He did play good in that game. So we'll see if Goff can step up. But
I think
Aaron's going to be a little
Right.
bit too much. Mr. Rogers.
I think
is
the
gonna be
Packers
Mr.
and
Rogers.
the Packers and their counter and moving
Yep.
the guards and tackles and sweeps. I think that's just going to be too much.
Yeah.
Too much, way too much for them.
And I know
coach.
you're a big Brady fan. I'm a Brady fan. I love Tom Brady. Trust me, but I just I see, you know, Drew Brees also. I see Brees and them, you know, taking them for the 3rd time this year. They wiped him out twice. So I see Brady going down. If he succeeds, you know, I'm not against that either.
Right.
But,
Well, at the beginning of the season, coach, you know, actually at the end of this last year's Super Bowl, I said that Kansas City was going to repeat as Super Bowl champions. It would be Kansas City versus Green Bay.
Green Bay.
But not knowing
But you
that
like Brady, but
Rodgers
you were picking Brady.
Wait, not
along.
knowing that Brady was coming back, I didn't know. And then when we found out that he was coming back,
Yeah.
I told my brother, I told you, man, I'm gonna have to recant and say
Say
Brady.
right?
Right.
I know, but you're
But we'll
still
find out
picking-
tomorrow, coach.
But you were still picking right now. You're
Yeah.
still picking Kansas City and Green Bay, correct?
Right. I'm picking Kansas City, Green Bay.
But if Brady can get past Breeze,
Then-
who are you going to pick over? You're going to still pick Rodgers over Brady?
No.
Really? Then you're
It'll
going to
be
go
Brady.
back to Brady.
Yeah, I'm going to recant, of course.
Yeah,
I said
see
I have
that?
to.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
I think I have
Okay.
I have the good option to do that,
And
Coach.
the-
And,
and the
some of the AFC games also, Coach. You have the Ravens versus the Bills. A lot of folks say that the Bills are going to win with Josh Allen, but you know what?
He's playing good ball.
After Jackson's playoff
Lamar Jackson.
last week. Oh yeah, Lamar Jackson. Oh,
Yeah,
he was
he
awesome.
showed
He was
up.
on the
He's-
ball.
he-
He
you
was
know.
very good. That was his first postseason win, Coach. Of course, everybody had been on his back about that. He's
Right.
won pretty much everything. Rookie of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year. He's won every award so far as a
Right.
rookie and as a quarterback. The only thing he hadn't been able to win was a postseason game.
Right.
And he
It'll
did
be
that
something.
last week.
You know, that's what the matchup we were looking forward to last year was what? Lamar Jackson and Mahomes.
That's what we're
Didn't
looking
happen.
at last year. Didn't happen.
Didn't happen. So I think this year we're
We'll
looking
see
at
that.
possibly that matchup.
That'll be
even
that.
though
Hopefully, if the Ravens go past, if they get past the Bills,
they got to get past the
conference
Bills.
the conference final is going to be Chiefs Ravens.
Right.
If in fact, yes, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Well, it's a tough matchup. It's something definitely that we need to watch. I think I'm looking forward to the games this weekend. Got some great matchups. The Chiefs and the Browns. What do you think of Baker Mayfield's chances against Mahomes?
Well, we both talked about it last week. I didn't think that Baker Mayfield would have half a chance versus Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh.
Who would have guessed that one?
The only thing we left open was good that if he did have a good game, he didn't have the bad game. His flip flop. We'll see which one showed up, and the good Mayfield showed up. They just tore up the Steelers, Coach.
I'll tell you,
it was horrible.
And Ben, as bad as Ben. Well, Ben didn't play bad. Ben threw some interceptions. They got hit, but his receivers aren't catching the ball.
Yeah,
and even as bad and as many interceptions, they were still in that game. So
many of the Steelers receivers had the ball thrown in the breadbasket,
and
Coach,
that was
they
the
just
problem
missed it.
all year. So it just showed up in that game, and it kudos to the Browns for being able to pull it off. And even when they had that big lead, Pittsburgh was coming back. But when your receivers drop balls, it's tough.
But
so
Browns at Chiefs, that's hard to swallow. I don't care. I know that you lost and that you won at Pittsburgh, but it's going to be hard to swallow at Kansas City.
Well, you never
against
know.
the
Now,
champions,
Kansas City
Coach.
hasn't played in 3 weeks.
Yeah, they're super rested, Coach, and they are the champions.
What's
Remember
more
that.
amazing about Cleveland beating Pittsburgh is Cleveland wasn't able to get on the field and
That
practice.
is correct.
And they weren't allowed in their facility.
Right,
to
and
even
all of their
get ready.
coaches were out,
So
Coach.
they weren't even expected to be close in this game.
They had
much
3
less win
players
the
who
game.
were out, Coach, main
Right.
players, and they had offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and the head
Offensive
coach
line. Yeah.
out. Yes, and they still whooped
It's
the Steelers.
nuts. Yeah. So there you go. So they've had practice.
Again, if
Now-
Baker Mayfield has a great game versus the Chiefs, he will do fine,
It's
and
all-
they may even win.
It's all confidence, Chris. And here's where Cleveland does have a chance. How Cleveland's main game is what? Chubbs. They're running
Nick
game.
Chubbs, that is
and they
correct.
have another guy that's an ex-Chiefs guy.
Right. If you have the combination of a good run, then you can pull
They
off,
can keep
John.
the ball. They can keep the ball, and then
Right.
when you're running the ball, and if Mayfield can be on when they do need to pass and make those passes, and you can run the ball, you can keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands.
You can go ahead and do those
And run the
fake
ball.
bootlegs
I
and
think
peel
they-
out, John, and find your receiver. If you do that,
Cleveland's
Baker Mayfield
dangerous.
does that.
They're very dangerous
They'll
against
win.
Kansas City. So,
Right.
all right, I think we're cutting out, Chris.
Okay.
We'll be back, Global Sports Network. We got more to talk Texans, Deshaun Watson and his woes.
And Bill O'Brien is back, John.
Bill O'Brien's back, not in
We'll
the
be right
NFL.
Hello, I'm Carlin Charleston, Executive Director of Erase Races, and I want to take this time to invite you to an opportunity to change the world. Perhaps you're too busy and too preoccupied to help change the world, but please take the next 2 minutes to listen to how we plan to do it. The divisiveness and bitterness observed in our country today is not a coincidence of the current administration or any administration before. It is also not a product of a singular or multiple infractions by a zealous or racist police force. No, the race problem precedes the founding of our country. Our very history speaks in racial language, and most everything that happens in our society now carries with it racial baggage. It simply does not have to stay that way. The Erase Race campaign has only one objective: the unifying of all Americans, and that without regard to the color of their skin. This is a difficult challenge because of our history, but we can do it if we believe. If we believe that Martin Luther King Jr. was right when he said, "We are tied together in a single garment of destiny," we can do it. We can do it if we believe the founding principles upon which our country was built, that all men are created equal, we can do it. And if we believe that God did in fact make all nations of men from one man, and that we are all therefore part of one family, one race, then we can do it. Yes, the task is monumental, but the reward is worth the challenge. If you would like to join us as we change America and inevitably change the world, go to eraseraces.com, sign up today, and welcome to Erase Races, because there is only one race, and you're in it.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Global Sports Network this beautiful Friday, January the 15th. It's cold and sunny at the same time. And guys, we're talking postseason NFL. John?
Yeah?
Who do you think? Who are you going for this Saturday, Sunday?
Well,
what's the game you're watching besides
Chris,
Brady?
It's one of those weekends. I mean, my team's out. I'm a Texan fan, okay? Dolphin fan years ago, but really my heart and soul's with the Texans. So I enjoy weekends like this coming up because I want to see football, good football. See what happens. See, Green Bay. I'd like to see Buffalo upset somebody here. I'd like to see Aaron Rodgers be the Aaron Rodgers that you like to watch. Aaron Rodgers is the type of guy, Chris, that even if you, as a football fan, when you watch him operate, and then you got Drew Brees operating also the same thing. When you watch these special quarterbacks that we have playing this weekend, Mahomes, Watson, Rodgers, Drew Brees, and the new guy, Josh Allen. If you and then the newest guy of them all from the Browns there.
Right.
If you don't like like football, Baker Mayfield. This is the weekend to watch. So you're watching the best of the best, and you're watching guys that really know how to operate, and then defenses that are trying to figure out how to not let these guys be successful. It's a great weekend.
The majority of the guys that we mentioned so far, Coach, you're looking at 2 to 3 year, barely in the NFL. Jackson, Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen. These are the guys that are still playing. And when the first crop came out back in 2016, 2017, they were like, okay, these are the guys that are going to represent and replace Rodgers, Brees, Brady, those type of players. Even Goff that came out in 2016. Right. These are the guys that are going to replace the old legends, the old guard, the old legends. That's correct.
The GOATs.
And we're seeing that when that quote was made, that's exactly what's happening
now it's coming.
Right now, Coach.
Yeah, nobody would have predicted Josh Allen. He had a couple bad years there, Chris. So Josh Allen wasn't even in the running until this last year. So he's coming alive. And then Baker Mayfield, everybody was ruling him out, ruling him in this year, up and down, up and down. So this will be a big game for him. I believe that the Browns gained a lot of confidence in that last game in Baker Mayfield and the team. So is it enough to get them past Kansas City? We'll see. Mahomes is going to have to step up again and play his game. But the Browns have the team to be able to keep the ball in their hand with their running attack. So if
That
they
is
can
correct.
get their running attack going, and Baker Mayfield can have a good day being a coordinator of moving the offense and doing the right thing and making the right decisions and making the throws, Kansas City could be in trouble because even when the Texans beat Kansas City, and we did in the real season, we kept the ball 40 minutes, and they kept the ball less than 20 or something like that. We kept it over 40, and they kept it less.
But you got to remember the side-slinging quarterback for KC, that when he's down, the chips are down, he's on, Coach.
But
He's
that's what I'm
hot.
saying. But
last year in the Super Bowl, same thing. They were down. I remember leaving my neighbor's house. My neighbor was all up in arms because the Chiefs were losing.
Oh, they were getting beat.
Yeah, they were getting killed.
The whole game.
And
San Francisco was beating them
I told my neighbor, I said, don't worry, man. This is just the first half. Middle of the third, going into the fourth, Kansas City will take this game and win this game. Are you sure, Chris? Yeah, I got to go. Psst, guess what?
Well, it happened, and it happened in under 5 minutes. I mean, the last 5, San Francisco was winning that game. They were the better team throughout the entire game until the last 5 to 7 minutes. I think it was under 5 minutes.
Mahomes took
took over,
game.
And they took charge
That
of the game
correct.
and took the lead for the first time. But you know, Chris, we got to talk about some other things. We got to talk Texans.
Okay, let's go to
Deshaun
Texans.
Watson and what's going on with our ownership here and Cal McNair and how, you know, we hired a general manager, Nick Caserio, and, you know, I don't feel good. I got a sick feeling in my stomach. The Texans are losing a lot of fans, you know, left and right. Not only that, they're losing their player base. You're losing
your culture, you're losing your religion, you're losing your game coach, and most importantly, you're losing your fans because you're not making the right decisions. Cal, don't know what happened, sir, but what you're doing is not what is approved by the fans, and that's who pays your entrance there.
It's
Coach.
ironic.
That's who pays your bill there, your payroll.
You know, they're trying to build a culture, and they're trying to build a way, which it won't work like that in the NFL. Whatever they're trying to build, Cal, it ain't working, okay? Right. It's going the other way. And it's going the other way, and it's like you have a blind eye to what's going on. And you don't listen, and I'm sure you do listen to the radio stations going on. These guys, in fact, today on the radio, Chris, I heard that the guys on the radio aren't backing up, and they're giving ideas, which is kind of true.
I mean,
they're sitting there, I'm listening, and they're giving Deshaun Watson all kinds of ideas. Well, you should be out of town. And, you know, you think Deshaun Watson doesn't listen to the sports shows? Of course he does. Now, he's got a lot of other people in his ear, too. But when the guy says, hey, look, I would be looking at this and that and the other thing, and it's true, I kind of love it the way that the sportscasters, you know, they forecast things and they predict things. And yes, you are kind of setting it up. And this is the mother station.
Sure. That is correct. It's a
flagship
for the Texans, coach. And all I can say is next season it'll be open season. We'll be able to cover the Texans again. Hopefully, we have someone who's not tied to the Patriots, because that's kind of what's been happening. One of the things was that a few weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, they talked about Bill O'Brien leaving and how they did not want another protege, another product from New England. And this is exactly what's happened. We have a general manager that was with New England, John, along with Mr. Easterby, who is from New England, and that's just not. There's
the cancer stick, and it's not just me saying it. It's not just us bringing it up. Sports Illustrated wrote an article, and it laid out all the things that he did. And he definitely, Easterby, he's supposed to bring the locker room together and give a unity to the team and give whatever he gives, you know.
Right.
And it did
Pep
just
talks,
the opposite.
Coach.
He broke the whole team apart. The team doesn't trust the management, and now apparently, you know, he's the one. He handpicked Caserio. Right. All this smoke and mirrors that was going on. They're looking here, looking there. They knew.
Remember what I told you, Coach? Remember what I told you? When they got somebody in the right wing or in the wing, they still got to put it out there for legal purposes that they're hiring, even though they have somebody already coming in for
it. It was obvious that Caserio was going to be the hire, and guess who was in charge of getting Caserio? Easterby. Wow. So now, Easterby, when you hire Caserio and you give him a $30 million contract, who's the person that brought you in? Easterby. Okay. Do you owe Easterby anything? Yeah, Casario basically gets in the interview and says, yeah, Mister, he's great, this and that, and they back him up. Wait, didn't you read the Sports Illustrated story? You didn't?
Yeah.
Oh, you missed that one.
Yep.
Sorry, you missed the article, okay, where it said he did this, this, and this,
And
putting
Coach,
cards and lockers on players.
They had talked to
this.
Cal McNair and some of the Texans, and they said, oh, no, for reasons, he has to stay, and he won't be here next year, and Jack Easterby won't be. Well, now that they hired Casario, that indicates to you that he will be here next year. I think we talked about it 2 weeks ago, and he will be here next year, I'm pretty sure.
Well,
and he'll still be with the Texans.
Yeah, he'll be here, and here I'm gonna help. And Deshaun Watson won't. You can't lose Deshaun Watson. What would be the worst thing that could happen in Houston? You let Deshaun Watson go, what's going to happen? He's going to go somewhere else and win a world championship
with somebody else.
Okay?
Yeah, Super Bowl with somebody else.
With somebody else.
And like I said, J.J. Watt next year is his last year in the contract, and he might be walking.
Yeah, he's not happy. The Coach, players aren't happy.
It's in disarray. Everyone has commented that the Texans are in disarray. They're in chaos.
And whose fault is that?
Jack Easterby.
No, not Jack Easterby.
Well, Cal
McNair.
McNair, yeah.
There you go. Get it straight, Cal. This is ridiculous.
Right.
It's ridiculous. It's out of hand.
You're not listening.
He's not listening
it's almost like,
to what's really going on. It's like they have their own little world, and this is what we want to go on. Right. You're losing your fan base. There's people actually calling in that have been listening for years and years that I don't want my tickets. I don't want to go. I'm sick to my stomach. I don't even.
Wow.
I'm telling you. Oh, yeah. They're going to lose.
I got a lot of negative comments when they said that Easterby brought him over, on the plane. When that was laid out, I had a lot of fans that said, you know what? I'm done. I can pick up my tickets. I can give them away. I don't want them.
Yeah. You're losing it. And if you want to,
Hey, Coach, I got another Bill O'Brien story, Coach. Yeah, story came out yesterday that Bill O'Brien has been hired as offensive coordinator.
Rinky-dink football?
Nope, he got hired by Alabama and Nick Saban.
Alabama?
Nick Saban.
They're pretty good?
They just won, Coach.
They won? Oh.
That's right.
Okay.
Championship. Nick Saban just confirmed that he is hiring Bill O'Brien as their offensive coordinator. Yes, sir.
All right, offensive coordinator. Oh, that's awesome, man. They'll be moving the ball down the field. We'll see this next year. That'd be interesting to see.
We'll see. I'm going to keep an eye on that, Coach. See if he does
maybe he'll learn a thing or
job.
two. But
maybe he'll learn something from the head coach.
I got something for Lou Saban.
Who?
Huh?
Who?
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban. What'd you get?
Yeah, he can't coach the Dolphins. So I got that on. I mean, that's crazy. Goes down there in Miami. I'm thinking, hey, we got the coach and couldn't make it in the NFL. So it's interesting, Chris, how, some coaches, they can make it in college. They can't make it in the NFL. And some coaches can make it in the NFL.
But they can't make it in
college. And they can't make it, and then they go back to college and they forgot what they
did. They're used to ranking on the kids, and they know how to coach the kids. But they don't know how to coach the adults. That's just the problem.
Well, coaching adults that are worth millions of dollars is two different types of inspiring.
That is correct.
But it also has a lot to do with who you put yourself, who your coaches are.
Who your coaches
how
are.
you hire, and that changes. And I just really was surprised that Michigan didn't become the #1 team in college football.
Wow.
And then I thought that, and I still think that he should be our #1 guy.
We think so. Well, guys, we've reached our midpoint, Coach, and we're going to go ahead and take another break. We'll be right back on Global Sports Network. Catch you in a second. Sounds good? No?
Are you a small business owner concerned about the downturn in the economy? Top business leaders like Mattress Mac and Warren Buffett will tell you that now is the time to promote your business more than ever. People need your services. Your business needs an edge. Learn about special advertising packages for small businesses right here on Edge Radio. Find out more, give us a call at 281-744-0446. That's 281-744-0446. Edge, because truth still matters.
Welcome back to The Edge. Global Sports Network, Chris Fernandez, John Foster, and Connor Barwin is stepping up. Chris, where's he going?
No, D'Amico Ryan's coach.
Connor Barwin. Oh, we were just talking.
That was our last.
Oh my God.
That was our last
All
offside
right.
conversation. Thanks,
we
Vince.
were just talking.
Vince got us off track there. Okay, but no, it's cool, guys. Hey, listen, D'Amico Ryan's for a long time number 59 coach.
Yeah.
He played with the Texans as outside linebacker, inside linebacker, right around 2005 to 2011. J.J. Watt's rookie year.
Yep.
And he's going to be.
D'Amico Ryan.
It's going to be. He just got picked and confirmed starting next season. Defensive coordinator for San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
If that happens, you better believe it. I know D'Amico Ryan's. You better believe they're going to be in there, and they're going to be tough, Coach.
Yeah.
Really, really, they're going to be tough. And J.J. Watt was asked what he thought. He said, I just think that's great news. I am so happy for D'Amico.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's
they
the
got
right,
along.
right
I'm
thing
surprised
to say.
that we let D'Amico go. You know, him and who did I say? Connor Barwin.
Connor Barwin.
And they wind up in Philadelphia. Connor Barwin winds up with a championship with Philadelphia. D'Amico Ryans follows him to Philadelphia.
In those days, the general manager, Smith, of course, they did very good as far as measuring the talent, the skill base of every player, and, of course, matching that with their age. So at that time, it was more of an age and skill and talent, you know, as opposed to, you know, another reason why they let him go. It's not necessarily the money. It was just very basically their time had expired here in Houston, so that's why they went ahead and got them off. Coach.
Speaking of Philadelphia, they just lost their coach.
Woo-hoo.
What do you think of Philadelphia giving up their coach?
Peterson?
Yeah.
Peterson.
Peterson's out.
Wow.
You know, I think we should pick up Peterson.
I think we should.
Be a candidate for the Houston Texans.
See, those are the things that scratch me, Coach. Scratch me because
3 years ago, the world
I
champions.
don't know if I'm Cal McNair, if I'm the new GM. I'm on the phone calling Peterson right now.
Yeah.
What is the issue,
You know what?
Coach?
You don't even have to do that. You know why, Chris?
Wow.
Peterson and Easterby and who's that guy? Casario?
Uh-huh.
They all have the same manager. Did you
Agent.
know that?
They have the same agent.
Agent,
right, yes.
They all have the same agent. So there's something going on there.
The more the reason why I don't see why they're not jumping on the hump right now, Coach.
Well,
I just don't see that.
You know, there's a lot of stuff we don't know. I already believe this, Chris, that the Texans, they already have Casario. He was in the pocket a year ago. They already knew. They've been working on that all the time. So it's all smoke and mirrors.
Is Cal McNair going to apply for COVID help, SBA loans, or what? I mean, I don't understand, sir. You get on the horn, you're going to go, hey, Peterson, yeah, you're okay, hey, listen, can we interview you? I mean, how hard is it to pick up your phone, guys?
But this is what I'm saying, Chris.
I know what you're saying.
It's not that hard. They don't need to do it because they already know who the head coach is.
Exactly, which was my point
they're
earlier.
They're not telling you right now who the head coach is, but they know who it is.
That was my point earlier. They're not making the calls because they know who they're going to put in there.
Here's what we're talking about. Why
just not
can't
telling
you
us.
just bring in the enemy and talk to them? And then you make the players happy. You just sit them down and talk to them. If anything, you get information from them. Because Deshaun Watson had a talk with Mahomes, and he told them all about the enemy.
Wow.
And he liked what he had to say. And he said, yeah, you guys, it would be perfect. You know, he brings stuff to the table, his game plan every week. So he's got Deshaun all hyped up. And so, you know, he suggested to Texans, hey, just bring him in and talk to him.
Okay, so then we don't interview.
Simple.
So we don't interview this guy.
Repair.
We don't interview this guy. We don't bring in Johnson or Deshaun Watson for the GM decision, and we don't interview the guy that they want, and we keep leaving it. And we don't
ask him.
So yeah, of course he's going to be upset. We don't interview Benjamin. We don't interview the guy that Deshaun Watson likes. We don't interview. I mean, come on, really, Coach?
You know, Chris, there's one thing about sports, and Houston, we just went through it all. I remember sitting with you. We've been doing sports for 4 years now.
Right.
From KCOH.
Me with you, but
yeah,
I've been doing sports for a long time.
You brought me into this business, and we've been talking about, you know, how lucky we are. And I used to wake up in the morning, Chris, and go, Mike, you know, we are the luckiest town in town. Baseball, football, basketball, we're all at the top of the heap. Even hockey, I'm kidding. All right. But, let me tell you something,
Coach.
We had the best teams in all sports.
If we had a market, a good business market, sports market here in Houston, after 2017, the Houston Astros, as they got caught doing what they did, and now this fiasco with the Texans, and now this fiasco with the Rockets, nobody wants to come to Houston. And whatever little market you had, guess what? Business sense is telling me I don't want to go there.
It's
Cal
not,
McNair?
It's not, yeah. And it just seems like all the ownerships, and there's a disconnect between the ownerships and the players. But from going from the top of the mountain, Houston, with baseball, football, we were on the edge, or we felt like we were on the edge with Deshaun Watson. And baseball, we were there. Basketball, we were right there with Harden and Westbrook, and right on down the line, from Dwight Howard to Chris Paul.
Right now, Coach?
And now everything is in disarray, or it seems like it's all up in the air. So, sports, just like life, Chris, guess what? It will change. When everything's great, it will change.
Coach, it's been dissolved.
Changed.
It's watered down.
And it's going to change
sports
again.
now. And now we're just belly up, sitting on the turf there and waiting for someone to step on us. And that's pretty much what we're looking at, Coach. I don't see anything positive right now for the next 2 to 3 years.
I disagree.
I really don't, in any of the sports.
Really? I disagree.
Yeah,
now, Casario's a good
fine.
hire, but you got to fix the thing. With Easterby in the locker room, there's dissension in the locker room.
Of course.
And if we
In the
lose
ranks.
Deshaun Watson, it's, unless you trade him to the Jags and you pick up
I'll tell you what,
number one draft pick.
If they lose Deshaun Watson, every sportscaster in Houston is going to lose their job because there won't be anything to talk about. I'm just telling you that right now.
Well, in football, especially those guys over there on the it's going to be a tough one.
It's going to be a tough one, guys.
You can't replace this guy. I think
Sure.
I've said for years, and that I'm a big Deshaun Watson fan. I like him above anybody. I think his character, the way he is, he's on the field, he's working his hard. I think that O'Brien really set him back with putting reins on him.
Right.
And you can see that it's opened up a little bit. And we need to bring somebody in, an offensive guy, to help him out and get this team rolling on an offensive that also hires a good defensive coordinator.
I still think it's money, and I still think they have somebody in the wing waiting. But I think it's money, and they're not willing to pay the big dollars. And, Coach, we're coming up to the end now.
I think we are.
Got to make sure we're going to watch the postseason Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to watch closely the Ravens and see if they can beat.
Yep.
And I want to see Tampa Bay versus New Orleans. And,
those old guys playing, the GOATs.
Let's see who wins. It's going to be very exciting. Everybody, thank you for being with us today on Friday here on the Edge Radio, Houston, Texas. And I'm Chris Fernandez, Global Sports Network, and he is
John Foster. See you next week. We'll be talking more football.
Thank you.